How's she going, my son, and welcome back to Dark Souls. Prepare to die. Statman run. What is a Statman run, you might ask? Fairly simple. I am leveling each of these stats once per new game cycle to 99. So, and doing them in order, I might add. So, our first stat to cap is Vitality. Now, admittedly, in this game, doing what I am doing with the stats is a very dumb thing to do. Because every stat has, while it has an effective cap of 99, there's a lot of diminishing returns past a certain point for every single stat. That and resistance is useless. I don't know why they even put it in the game. But, well, it's not useless, but it's of very little use. Like, your points are far better spent, like, anywhere else but the resistance stat. But, I mean, it's in the game. Deal with it. But, yeah, every stat has a cap that, after you start leveling beyond that, becomes very useless. For example, with Vitality, I believe the cap is either 40 or 50, and every point after that is significantly less points. But I'm going to get it to 99 anyway, because that's the point of the run. I am going to go through this game, several cycles, and get myself as swole as possible in Dark Souls for a warrior, because that's the class I started as, which is 700 some odd levels. We're going to be here a while, folks. Get comfortable. Get yourself a drink and a popcorn. Get a homeward bone. And the number one reason why not to start as a cleric. Your starting gear is found in the opening area. Now, you could argue the extra uses of heal are worth it, and the starting stat spread can be worth it as well, but literally the only unique thing you get from starting as a cleric is the equipment, like the armor, which isn't really all that good. We're going to reset these skeletons, because I don't fancy my chances fighting them with a sword. Skeletons in this are pretty damn resistant to slash damage. And just damage in general at the beginning of the game. Admittedly, if you start with the Deprived, which is just a naked dude with a 2x4 and a club, you can very... Sorry, gotta get the... There we go. Gotta get the cursor off screen. If he starts as the Deprived, he has a fairly decent shot of fighting them, but, because he starts with a big blunt weapon. Although, speaking of... Can I use you? Yes. Morningstar isn't the best thing for them because of the physical damage is effectively less than a club due to the bleed effect on it, which doesn't do a damn thing against skeletons, obviously. You know, despite what certain smiling trash bags do when you finish them off. Oh, speaking of blood. This is some poor sap who died. Yeah. Judging by the weapons, it's another low-level warrior who maybe bit off more than he could chew. Let's not repeat his mistake. Okay, it's not too bad, honestly. One shot staggers them, which is hilarious with skeletons, because they literally fall apart. Come on. Yes! Got it! Does that one-shot him? Or finish him off? Nice. Alright. Oh, what the hell? I had the shield up. I'm just gonna fucking wail on you. Oh, that's delayed swing. Cheater. No! Damn it. Ah! For those of you not in the know, although I'm sure most people know what parrying is in Dark Souls, I'm attempting to parry this skeleton by backhanding his attack at the precise right time with my shield or naked fist, or offhand weapon, depending on what's in the other hand. I can expose them to the finishing blow mechanic that you saw me do on his buddy earlier. And that's actually what he's trying to set up for me there, because if I attack him when he's like that, he'll parry me. Come on. Come on. Gotcha. You get that nice satisfying sound, and a shit ton of damage. Alright. Now, this is technically the wrong way to go in terms of starting the game, which I only found out the hard way on my very first character in Dark Souls, which was a sorcerer, because you know me, I like my magic. But, yeah, sorcery doesn't work very well against skeletons, particularly sorcery without maxed stats sorcery. And, neither did the dagger I started with, so I was like, what the hell, game? These are like the opening area enemies, and you're giving me this much difficulty with them. Needless to say, that character was quickly scrapped, and I didn't play the game for a short while after that. Oh, jeez. Because I just thought the game was unfair. Like, I'd like bad Nintendo hard, rather than genuinely difficult, the way the game is when you go the proper way. Ow. That might not be blockable. That might not be parryable. So yeah, I kind of gave up on the game for a while, came back to it, played... I believe that's when I first played my Pyromancer, which is the character I ultimately beat the game with first. Nice. Backstab. Alright. Backstabs are similar to parries, by the way. Very easy, much easier to achieve, of course. You just got to get behind a guy and deliver a right bumper to the back of his to the back of their head. Yeah, another low-level guy probably went the wrong way. Portable souls. But yeah, I finally went the right way with my second character. I might have been another one in between, but I don't remember. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ah. Man, I can't get through them even when they're on the ground like that? Bullshit. I'm just gonna go up here. Fuck you both. There's more loot here, but I really don't need it, because it's a weapon I can't use for a while. The binoculars, which are pointless. And... I think that's it, actually. So I really don't need to be there. I do want your spare soul there, buddy. Thank you much. But yeah, the first character I actually got through this game with was Pyromancer. Which, by the end of it, kind of turned into, like, sorcerer... Pyromancer sorcerer with, like, heavy armor and shit. No finesse whatsoever. But, you know, get you through the day. Pyromancy in particular, very good at that, considering you don't need to have any stat investment other than enough attunement to use your slots, I guess. Because, you know, unfortunately at this point, I can't attune shit with this character because I have no attunement slot. Because you get your first one at, I believe, 11 points? So, like, the Deprived starts with 1, even though he has no spells, because, you know, he's naked caveman. But, you know, the Warrior has no attunement slot, so even if you start picking up magic and leveling up his intelligence and such, you get nothing. You don't have the ability to use it. So, you have to level the attunement stat as well. So, you know, that's the only stat you actually need for Pyromancy. Also, Dexterity has a point, has a function on casting speed, but it's pretty minor. Like, it's worth getting if you're absolutely min-maxing the effectiveness of your spellcasting, but, like, it's hard to notice. It's like a frame difference. You know, 1/60th of a second kind of differences. I mean, it's more than one frame, but it's that kind of measurement, one would say. You know, talking about game mechanics, casually parrying dudes. It's kind of what you do when you play Dark Souls for an audience. Whoa. None of that, please. Ah! Frickin'. That's not normally where that lands. That's fine. Okay. Not sure what you were trying to achieve there, buddy, but mission accomplished, I guess. Yep. Oh. You gonna fall off? Are you gonna fall off? Fall off. I hope he doesn't drop anything, because I won't be able to get it. No, we're good. Ah. Right up the pooper. You may also notice that I'm getting a oddly numbered amount of souls when I kill the guys with the backstab mechanic. This is because this game actually rewards you for overkilling. It's rare that a video game does that, and it's quite nice. Urgh! Out of my way, rat. Give me a humanity. Damn it. Yes, rats drop the humanity item. Something you'll notice, I'm sure you've noticed by now the numbers next to my health and stamina meters. For those who aren't in the know about Dark Souls, that is not my level, because it's 0. My level is actually 8 at the moment, because I start at 4 as a warrior, and I put 4 points into my stats. Each stat is a level up. Jeez, you got some spring in your step, buddy. No. Kill this buddy with the counter damage, though. But, that is my humanity stat. As you can see, the numbers are black, meaning I'm hollow, because I'm, you know, I'm beef jerky man at the moment. I look good, though. But, I can actually if I spend a humanity point, I can become human again, which activates online play, and for better or for worse, you can get invaded as a human being. Also by some NPCs, but primarily by other players. And, but it also allows co-op. Or as this game is fond of calling it, jolly cooperation. Those of you not in the know, you will meet the man behind that later in the run. A little bit of stress relief. The humanity stat doesn't do a whole lot by itself. The biggest thing is that having at least 10 points of humanity gives you the maximum chance of rare item drops. Or just any item drop from an enemy. Any points beyond 10 have no effect. However, every point of humanity, up to 99, which is the most you can hold at any one given time in your bosom, also gives you defense points versus all things. Plus, there's a couple of weapons that scale off of your humanity instead of any of your regular stats, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it is not a requirement to be human in this game, nor is it a requirement to have humanity, but it helps. But it helps. Whether directly getting help from other people, or friendly NPCs you can summon, or getting more loot, getting more defense, you know. It is all required. That being said, there are people who have beaten this game with nothing but the naked fist. That has no way of getting... has no way of getting any stronger. It doesn't scale off your strength, it doesn't scale off your dex, it doesn't scale off jack shit. So, yeah. Also, what are you doing down there? Plunge! Nice. Try blocking. Yes, those bits of random graffiti on the ground are messages from other players. There's a couple from the devs that'll be marked with the knight helmet, but otherwise it's another player leaving a message that might be useful, it might be complete gibberish, and it might actually be a trap. You gotta take your best judgment on it. And also, the random ghosts you'll see are other people playing the game at the same time as me, and their information is being transmitted to me so that I can see them. The blood smears are, as we've seen earlier, are where people have died. Ooh, hello, dragon. See you later. Are where people have died, and you get like an instant replay of what killed them. However, since you only see them, you don't exactly see what happened, but like, if you see them roll off a cliff, you'll be like, oh, they fell off a cliff. And if you see them die from what looks like taking damage, you're like, okay, they fucked up combat. You know, you can kind of guess what's going on from there. And wow, I should not have swung there, but I got lucky. But yeah, the online in this is very indirect, which is kind of annoying when you want to actually play with people directly, be it PvP or PvE. And particularly because this game used to run on the Games for Windows Live platform. I don't know if it was on the consoles like that, but it was on PC, and then it got turned over to Steam entirely. It kind of got goofed up for a while. I think they fixed it, because I'm getting online functionality, but it still could be a lot better. And it was probably a lot better back in the day when, you know, this game was brand new. Obviously, this game is like, shit, like 5, 6 years old now? Wow. It's been that long, huh? It's all good, though. Before we hit that bonfire and probably cap off the episode, I might aim for some shorter run times in these episodes. Unless, you know, I'm in the middle of a boss fight or something. You know, that'll be what happens. If you're wondering how I got Buddy to block his guard, I kicked. No, that's not it. It's a little tricky to pull off, because it has to be a precisely timed right bumper press at the same time you nudge the movement stick forward. You get that. That breaks guards. They replaced it in Dark Souls 2 with a really bad mechanic that does not get used. At least not easily. But that's okay. Hello.
Well now, you seem to have your wits about you, hmm? Then you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
He's petting nothing. But he is selling useful stuff. Oh, by the way, this is the thing you need to write graffiti. The Orange Guide and Soapstone, so I think I'll buy one. This just lets you store your extra stuff. This lets you repair instead of at merchants. Or the blacksmiths. Not a big deal. Weapons decay very slowly in this game, unless you're attacked by something that specifically damages your stuff. Or you use some special weapons that have extra abilities that are like, burn weapon durability to shoot laser beams. Yes, that's a thing. Could get a spear. Yeah, I'm good for now.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, he's gone full hollow. But thankfully, he's only delightfully insane compared to all the enemies, which are gibberingly insane. And, you know, wanting to murder you for your souls. Emphasis on the multiple. No, God. Went a little farther. Ah, freaking hell. Ah! Quad kill! Oh my God, I lit up like a tree there for a second. That's all good. Going up the ladder, going up the ladder. Now, this game is fairly open-ended, and I'm actually doing it a little bit of injustice not having the key that lets you skip around a bit. But to give you an idea, if you're really smart and clever with your timing, you can land on that platform in front of me, jump down past the railing there, and end up in a completely different section of the game well ahead of schedule. Which is a testament to this game. Now, definitely they didn't intend for that to work, but the fact that the game doesn't, like, lock up or, like, auto-murder you or just have an invisible wall there to prevent you from getting there in the first place is kind of cool. And, you know, Dark Souls' speedrunners, in particular, have done a lot of interesting things with this game to get quicker and quicker times. Light crossbow. First ranged attack. Ranged attacks aren't super useful in this game, because this game is kind of like really tight quarters in terms of its combat, because it's meant to be the heavy weighted, every action counts melee combat versus, you know, some games where like you could make a character whose entire gimmick is never letting anything get close to you and just murdering them at range, which is fine. But in this game, not so much. That being said, I have done runs of Dark Souls 2 and a decent amount of Dark Souls 1. I haven't finished it, though. But I've done it with primarily a crossbow. So, you know, that's the thing that's happened. But anyway, we've hit the bonfire. Oh yeah, when you're at a bonfire, you actually see more detailed ghosts, so you can actually see, like, people's fashion souls and stuff. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Twitter, Tumblr, and subscription are in the description as usual. Please engage in all three, and when subscribing, click on the bell. Helps a lot. Dark Souls. The Statman run. Only just starting, so this doesn't look like a terribly different run. Why can't I do my emotes? There we go. Doesn't look like a terribly different run compared to most runs, but it will end up being very different as time goes on. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And ciao for now.